From the national newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Brenda Molina-Navidad. The world's leading authority on food crises says the worst-case scenario of famine is currently playing out in the Gaza Strip. ABC's James Longman reports aid groups are warning that the number of deaths will only climb if more food isn't made available.
Israel says 200 trucks arrived yesterday. Hamas says there were just 87. Either way, the UN says that isn't enough.
It comes as pressure is growing on the Israeli government, with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer saying the UK will recognize a Palestinian state in September.
Unless the Israeli government takes substantive steps to end the appalling situation in Gaza, agree to a ceasefire, and commit to a long-term sustainable peace, reviving the prospect of a two-state solution.
Canada has not announced plans to recognize a Palestinian state. Israeli customs data suggests lethal Canadian arms are still being exported regularly to that country, despite Ottawa's claim that it has halted such shipments. Yara Shufani is with the Palestinian Youth Movement.
While thousands of Canadians marched right here on Parliament Hill during April's federal election, demanding an arms embargo, a shipment containing 175,000 bullets made its way from Canada to Israel.
A coalition of Canadian advocates for Palestinians examined data published by the Israel Tax Authority showing shipments from Canada classified as bullets, guns, and weapons arriving in Israel. Time is running out for Canada and the U.S. to reach a trade deal by Friday's deadline. Canadian Federation of Independent Business President Dan Kelly says many just want a conclusion to the uncertainty of the past few months.
I don't disagree that no deal is better than a bad deal, but the second worst case scenario is the uncertainty created by no deal.
Meanwhile, some economists think the fresh tariff deadline will be one of the factors keeping the Bank of Canada's policy rate on hold again at 2.75% tomorrow. 10 candidates vying to represent Battle River Crowfoot in the House of Commons are set to debate tonight in the Alberta riding's largest municipality. Canadian Press reporter David Bowles says Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is expected to be there.
Poilievre is looking to win the Eastern Alberta riding after losing his long-held Ottawa seat of Carleton in the April general election to Bruce Fanjoy of the Liberal Party. The writ was dropped last month after Conservative Damien Currick, who handily won the seat in the April vote, stepped down so Poilievre could run.
The by-election is set for August 18th. Now in entertainment. Former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and pop star Katy Perry have been spotted dining together in a trendy Montreal neighborhood. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, Leila Fernandez, Bianca Andreescu, and Rebecca Marino are all out of the National Bank Open in Montreal. In MLB action, the Toronto Blue Jays lost 16-4 against the Orioles in the first game of a doubleheader today in Baltimore. The Jays remain atop the American League East. Canada was shut out of the medals on Day 3 at the World Swimming Championships in Singapore. A 55-year-old Texas man who told police he was in an imaginary relationship with WNBA star Caitlin Clark was sentenced to 2.5 years in prison after pleading guilty to stalking and harassing the Indiana Fever Guard.
Michael Lewis from Denton, Texas, reached a deal with prosecutors in which he pleaded guilty to 1 felony count of stalking and 1 misdemeanor count of harassment. Lewis was arrested in January after authorities alleged he sent hundreds of threats and sexually explicit messages to Clark. I'm Gethin Coolbaugh.
From the Canadian Press, I'm Brenda Molina-Navidad.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.